up, everybody? Chris Leben. I'm here with the Enson Inoue. We're here at the arena. Enson, you just flew in. Yeah. Welcome, by the way. Welcome.
Yeah, nice to be back.
It's great to have you here. It's been a little bit since you've been here.
3 years, I think.
Has it been 3 years already?
Yeah, fast.
Wow, that's great. It feels like your seminar was just yesterday. Yeah. So tell us, what have you been up to?
Just same old same, actually. Doing the bracelets. Got gyms that I go out to and watch the training.
Okay. And what are these? These are these bracelets here?
Yeah. It's like Power Stone bracelets.
Power Stone.
So every stone has its own property, and I go around shopping.
Okay.
I travel a lot all over the world to get them. I love doing that.
To get the stones.
Yeah.
Okay, and then who makes the bracelet?
I make them.
You make them.
Yeah, I make them.
You do the little weaving. Okay.
Yeah, I get them. Yeah.
Okay,
so I thread them and everything. Yeah.
So like this one, what is what is that?
So this one is like a smoky quartz. These brown ones. These are good for grounding.
Grounding.
Yeah.
Grounding. Okay. Quartz I know is good for a lot of things,
yeah,
right?
Quartz is
kind of a well-rounded stone.
Healing. Yeah.
Do you telling me you were just in Hawaii?
Yeah, doing the bracelets.
Doing the bracelets.
Yeah.
Do you have a list of clients over there too when you got there that you were helping out?
Yeah, it's huge.
Or it's really big, obviously, in Japan.
They've been doing it. No, actually, it's in Hawaii is the biggest thing.
Hawaii is the biggest.
So Japan is. They believe that this is like a protection thing.
Okay.
So they wear the bracelet when it breaks. It's actually taking something that's supposed to come to you in place of you, and it's broken because of that. Yeah. So that's why I started wearing it. I didn't realize that every stone had a power. When I started making them, I learned how to make them and started making them. Then when I went to a shop and I saw the different colors, they're telling me every stone has a different property. Okay. That's when I started learning on that. So it's kind of neat because I always travel over. Like I go to Pennsylvania. I'm going to Toronto in October, and it's pretty much training and seminars. And I'm basically just doing that not to make money, but just to give back to MMA.
Okay.
I just feel like jiu-jitsu and MMA has made me who I am today.
Right.
And it's just, my name is still enough that people want to do seminars, which is cool because I'm from back in the day. So these people still want to have me out. I'm kind of stoked. Like, that's cool, right on. So they have me out, and they just pick up my airfare, my hotel, my food.
Yeah. I was talking with somebody about it the other day, and it was just, it was so much different back in the day, when you were fighting in Pride. I was recently watching one of your highlight videos. You beat my coach, you armbarred Randy Couture.
Yeah.
I think I've never been able to submit that guy, and I trained with him for years.
Really?
He's slippery, He's very.
Especially now, he probably is.
He's wrestling. He sweats a lot. And he's slippery.
I think I caught him at a good time in his career when he wasn't really understanding the ground yet.
But a world-class wrestler. You definitely caught him because I saw when you rolled over and really leaned into it. I think he didn't realize it was his type, but when you go back and you watch on the tape, his arm was definitely busted pretty bad.
I felt it pop about 3 times.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. But see, nowadays I think there's just such a difference. You get these fighters that they're not martial artists. They're we get a lot of kids that are great athletes, and they're good at what they do, and they go out and they fight to win. They fight a technical battle. Yeah. It's tit for tat. They don't want to take damage. They're not fighting with their heart. Like some of the fights I've seen you fight, like as far as self-preservation goes, maybe not the best.
That was off the window.
Maybe not the best style to have. I'm guilty of that sometimes myself.
Yeah, you should talk.
But just slugging it out. What was it like? Because Pride, obviously for me, when I started fighting, and I remember watching you. Fighting was still relatively underground in the United States. Yeah. So I had to walk like 2 miles. I lived in my best friend's mom's basement, and I would walk a couple of miles because there was a Japanese toy store, and I could get the bootleg Pride videos there. And that's VHS tapes, like maybe like 2001, 2002, That's when I was first introduced to you. Now, but it was already huge over there.
Yeah,
I
Japan
mean,
was huge.
you guys were selling out giant arenas.
Tokyo Dome.
Tokyo Dome, 60,000 people. What was that? What was that feeling like fighting at that time? They certainly also. The other thing is, you know, now I'm an official here in California. You know, I referee and judge.
Oh, awesome.
Your guys, the Pride, they let them go a little farther.
Yeah,
they let things go. You know, you had that 10-minute round, and then they let it go. I can't imagine. I guess, you know, what was that like stepping in there, not really knowing what was going to happen?
Well, this is such an awesome topic because there's such a big change in the sport. You know,
Right.
I mean, you're going from martial art to sport to entertainment now.
Exactly.
And it's you know, for me, everyone asks me about it, and I feel there's pros and cons to it. I feel super stoked how big martial arts has become. I mean, come on, you go to Vegas and you see guys pictures
on TV,
yeah,
and
they're fighting
on
on
the
TV,
billboards,
yeah, it's
right?
like unheard of, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm happy about that, but I'm real bummed about the way the sport has turned. But I do also understand that in order for the sport to get as big as it is now, it had to take that turn. They had to make more rules. They had to stop fights sooner. You know, and
Sure.
you ask about, you know, the way, you know, back in Pride days, there was no weight classes, yeah. So we
No.
all fought in one weight class, yeah. So that was one thing that I liked. The other thing was they didn't stop fights. That's another thing that I liked, and it's not because I was tougher, not because, oh, this guy's more of a warrior than this guy. It's because of the day and age that we grew up in. The people who didn't like that back in that day wouldn't fight.
Right.
Because there was no money, there was no fame, and it wasn't a thing, you know, it wasn't a thing to be a mixed martial artist. It wasn't a thing at all.
No, that didn't make you cool.
No, it didn't make you cool. It
right.
made you maybe a little weird or almost like a little outcast, yeah. So
Right.
For back in the day, you know, that was the things we were fighting. I was fighting to test myself.
To test yourself.
I mean, yeah, it freaks me out to see fighters, even on the big stage today, just bragging about getting a fight and saying, I know I can beat him. Like, for me, because it's in this day and age, I understand that that's probably what they want to do, is get the fights that can win, get the win money, get advanced into the rankings, and possibly get a belt. But back in the day, for me, it was, it wouldn't be a test for me if I knew I could beat someone and I fought him.
Right.
So for me, wasn't interested in fights that I think I could win.
So
I went for guys that I thought would kick my ass or put me into a position that I would have to battle fear in the midst of the fight.
Right.
Yeah, so I remember John McCarthy once came up to me in between one of my career fights and says, "Man, do you ever take easy fights?" I'm like, "No, I want to fight, you know, like for example, I think when I fought Keith Haring, I was actually offered Frank Shamrock, Fujita, and Keith Haring. I was lucky with Pride. Pride took care of me because they actually catered to who I wanted to fight. So the fights that I fought is the fights that I picked. Right. All the fights I wanted to fight, I got to fight except Vanderlei. I always wanted to fight Vanderlei, but they never let me fight Vanderlei. But I looked at the fights, I said, okay, Fujita is a wrestler, takedown hugger, boring fight. That didn't impress me at all.
Great at it, but yeah.
Not too scary. I didn't think he's the type of fighter to bring me into that fear zone.
Keith Haring was knocking people out. I mean,
Ken Shamrock just lost to Fujita. And he kind of went, that was that big thing about Pt1 My Heart, where he kind of felt shady about his heart, or he told him to throw the towel in or something. So for me, I mean, I know Ken's an animal, but after that fight, I thought there was a little bit of dinks in his armor.
Right.
But then you got Heath now just knocked out Tom Erickson.
Oh
my God, Tom Erickson, come on.
Big guy.
Yeah.
Big.
I mean, he's a guy that, I mean, you see Randy Couture at the top, but there's rumor of him throwing Randy around.
Yeah.
Tom Erickson was like
super strong. Yeah.
And then you got Keith Haring like taking him, I mean, knocking him out.
Yeah.
So right there when they said Heath's name, I said, I want to fight Heath.
Right.
Yeah. So all the fights that I took was all fights that I didn't think I could win.
Yeah.
And for me, I guess maybe that goes down to the depth of my reasoning on why I started fighting.
Right.
I didn't fight because it was cool. Like nowadays, guys want to do mixed martial arts because they see the title, they see the fame, they see the sponsorship, they see the money.
Right.
But for me, it was more, I saw the opportunity to grow as a man and be able to be a person that can control my emotions through anything.
Right.
You know, like when I was playing racquetball back in the day, it's like I can hit a shot 100 times, but when I get into the court, all of a sudden my footwork's a little off because of the nerves. Everything changes, you know.
That's it, right?
Yeah,
Being
I mean,
able to
if you can do what you can do in practice, every fight should be different.
Right.
But a lot of times the nerves, the anxiety, you know, the weight cut, all this other stuff involved.
Right.
It's not the same thing as you do every day. So
Right.
I remember when I was a little kid, I saw a movie where a guy was driving his family. His car went off the cliff, turned upside down, and went on fire. And because the car was upside down and he was in a panic stage, he couldn't open the door, and his whole family died. And I just thought to myself right there, it's a matter of controlling his emotions. You know,
you have to.
In the racquetball court, it's such a small thing about being able to hit a shot right, or it's a little bit. You know, racquetball, the ball travels almost 200 miles per hour. So if you have a little trajectory incline, the ball won't come off the back easy. So you have to, it's a real precise incline that you have to hit the ball at. And to be a little bit off because your nerves will change the whole shot.
Right.
And when that's something so nitty gritty, but when you look at it in a big scale, where if I can try and tune my anxiety and control my fears in the racquetball court, it's nothing like a life and death situation, but it will bring me a little bit near, and I'll be a little bit better at handling a situation that came up. And so I thought I use racquetball as that. And
it's like a metaphor towards life.
yeah, it's a little step, I think. It's a still tiny step.
Right.
And when I did that, I felt, when I went on the international tour at Egan, I felt I was almost 80% of the player that was in the practice court. So I felt, okay, my nerves are under control now. So, okay, cool, everything's good. I retired from racquetball, went back to school, started Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, and then I got to be good friends with the Gracies. And I remember when I was in Japan, Hickson came up and fought in the Vale Tudo, Japan. And he was a good friend because I was really close to Helson. And I was there and I was watching Hickson fight, and I'm not the type to scream out in a arena. I'm more the quiet type and like, yeah, he won or something. But when Hickson won, he beat David Lubecki. And I just like jumped up in the air and I was like, oh my God. And I thought to myself, right, I'm watching a friend fight there in the ring because of the sport is man-to-man combat. You're trying to hurt each other. The excitement, I couldn't control my excitement watching a friend. So then I had this thought in my head, man, I got to get in there once, just once. Even if I don't control my emotions, to have the experience. When the life in that situation, if it ever happens, I will be able to be a better prepared. I wouldn't say I'll be able to perfectly perform in that life in that situation, but I'll be much better prepared to do something to save my family or whoever I'm with.
You're going to know that much more about yourself.
Yeah, so that was, then I was in a quest just to get into the ring once. Called all the associations in Japan, called rings. They told me, rings and UWF had this thing about how old are you? You have to be under 22 and you have to be a certain height. I'm like, what does that matter?
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and you know, for me, I was looking at that thinking, UWF and rings, pro wrestling, fake, but maybe not. It was kind of in that iffy state.
I remember back then, some of them were big,
so
some
good.
of them weren't, you know?
So I figured, okay, the next one is really real, is Pancras.
Right.
Oh, Pancras is good. So I called Pancras and said, okay, there's a new boy test you have to wait for, send in your resume. So I actually went and they wanted a full body and an upper body and a little resume on what I did, and I sent that in. It'd be funny to get a hold of that from Pancras now. It'd be real funny.
That is interesting.
But I sent that in, and I had to, while I was waiting for the new boy test, I went and called Shooto. And Shooto at the time was really unorganized. And they answered the phone and said, come on down.
There you go.
And that's where it broke in. Yeah. So for me, I just wanted to get in the ring once. I went in, Sayama Satoru, the Tiger Mask guy, he saw me. He told me to spar with this little kid in the gym. And I'm thinking, okay, this guy's like half my size, but okay, I'll spar with him. Sparred with him. I remember I'm attacking my legs and I'm getting real comfortable with it, but able to defend enough to not get submitted. But I totally controlled him. Positioned him, mounted him, choked him in the back, everything. Come to find out later, there was Yuki Nakai.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was one of their welterweight champions.
One of their top guys.
Yeah, so Sayama got excited. He said, okay, we want you in the ring. I said, okay, once. That's all I was doing. I wasn't, you know what, I fought a lot on the streets, but you know, the streets is different, because you get mad, something happens, and you start to fight. It's easy. It's so easy to fight in the streets, but in this professional fighting, you got 3 months to prepare. You know your opponent knows about you. He's preparing to try and hurt you.
Specifically for
Yeah,
you.
and it's like that date just gets closer and closer, and there's a build-up. There's like interviews, and you know that intent. That you know, I wasn't planning to do anything like that. So I said, okay, I'll suck it up one fight, and did well. And up until the fourth fight, it was just one fight at a time. And then I never thought I perfected controlling my nerves, but I felt I got a lot better. And I didn't want to be a fighter. I just wanted to get into that situation and test my nerves and my fear zone.
Right.
And then after the fourth fight, I beat a K1 fighter, which was Andre Menard. And then right there, something clicked in my head. And I was like, wait a minute, how good am I at this? So that's where I just changed and said, okay, you know what, I'm gonna try this full on and just quit I retired. I was like the 4-time Japan racquetball champion, but just cold turkeyed it. Like that, like their champion just disappeared. Like, whoa, what is he doing? Going to the ring now. So I just dropped everything and went full on into the ring.
Okay.
Yeah, and then, so from there it was, I noticed that it's not just about getting in the ring and testing those emotions. Now there's these big animals in the ring that bring you to a different, you could even feel like life and death in there.
Right.
How close if you work in a 9-to-5 job, when are you ever gonna be in a situation like that? Never. But fighters, man, every time we get in the ring,
right,
we're in that situation because any wrong punch, any wrong blow can render you paralyzed or fuck your job where it's all gonna get wired shut. That fear zone in there is just what intrigued,